Would my life be better without alcohol? Why do we have to measure how bad the cycle got? Why do we have to measure how much damage we've done to our mental health, to our physical body, to our relationships, right? To our self-esteem? Why do we have to measure how bad it has to get? Why can't we ask the question, would my life be better? Hi friends, before we start today's show, I want to take a moment to tell you about our question and comment line. So if you have any questions or you want to discuss anything related to the topics we cover on the show, such as personal development, health, sobriety, life goals, therapy, feel free to leave a message on our new line. So here's the number below. You can call, ask your question, or leave your comment. So it's easy and straightforward. And it's really my way of connecting with you and making you part of the show. So please leave me a message and you might hear your voice in our next episode. So you can either share your name or remain anonymous, however you're comfortable. But if you believe you're experiencing some kind of emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional or 911. So I'm excited to hear from you and to continue this journey of self-development with all of you. Welcome back, friends. Today we're talking about why alcohol makes your anxiety worse. Yes, I said worse, which is the opposite of sometimes the way that we view alcohol, right? And if you're just tuning into the show, I have stopped drinking alcohol just over 18 months ago now, and I've really done a deep dive on the science and understanding why it feels so good to no longer drink alcohol. And this brings me back to why did it feel so bad when I was drinking alcohol? And so alcohol and anxiety go together. And I realized that this might sound wrong because we drink to feel good, right? We look forward to that first drink and that feeling of like, relaxation. Oh, I don't feel jittery anymore. Oh, I can calm down, right? All my worries are gone. So why do we feel that way, number one? And how does it actually lead to making us feel way worse and then becoming dependent on it and then stuck in what is called the alcohol anxiety cycle? And I'm speaking from experience because I have experienced this in the past, and on the other side, I also realized just how wonderful it is to not have to deal with any of this. Right? So let's really dive into what is happening, because at first glance, at first sip, it feels really good. It feels like I need this drink to feel good. However, what's happening under the surface in the neurochemistry of your brain is that drinking alcohol on a regular basis, and this doesn't mean you have to drink every day, but if you are drinking weekly, or even binge drinking a couple times a month, it's creating an imbalance in your brain. So there are all these different neurotransmitter and chemicals that keep everything going in our brain. And as we continue to put alcohol in our system, the chemicals change. And the longer we do it, the more of an imbalance it creates. And so while it will temporarily give us this relief from anxiety, this short-term relief kind of tricks us into not really realizing or noticing that there's really an increasingly imbalanced system on our hands. And really, on top of that, alcohol is a depressant, and it also disrupts our sleep, and it's a neurotoxin. Just want that word to sink in. Neuro, brain, toxin, poison. So alcohol is brain poison. And so it's like, it's so celebrated today in our culture. And even my family and I went out for brunch this weekend. Just beautiful, beautiful day. We're out by the beach. And the waiter listing off all the alcohol, just alcohol it's almost assumed in our culture today. If you're of drinking age and it's the weekend, you will be drinking with every meal, right? It's so baked into our culture. But then when we peel back the curtain and we look at what's happening, everyone around us is putting brain poison in their body on a regular basis. And then we're wondering, why am I anxious? Why am I depressed? Why is life so overwhelming? This is a big reason why for a lot of us, right? And that's why I get so fired up about this and why I talk about it all the time, because I know that there are so many people out there who are in the same position that I was, not thinking we're doing anything wrong, certainly not thinking we're doing anything to hurt ourselves, going along with what everyone else is doing, and then realizing, oh, I'm kind of getting into a habit with this. Oh, what would it feel like to not drink? And that's how the sequence went for me. Just wondering, like, how would my body feel, right? What would this do to my anxiety? When I wake up in the morning, would it, feel different? So the alcohol anxiety cycle, what are we talking about when we say that? And this is a little bit of like a chicken or the egg situation. Did we start to drink to calm our anxiety, or did drinking create the anxiety? And at the end, it doesn't really matter, because once we're in the cycle, we're in the cycle. So number one, we drink alcohol. Number two, it makes us feel confident and calm and able to socialize. Kind of just gives you that like unwind feeling, right, at the end of the day. Number three, we start to withdraw and feel anxious the next day. Number four, we start drinking again to relieve that anxiety. Okay, so what's happening? Why does alcohol make us feel more anxious, right? And this is a very physical, chemical reason. So GABA is the major inhibitory neurotransmitter in our brain. So essentially what that means is that's the chemical that helps us to calm down. GABA and alcohol are very similar in how they impact the brain. So when on a regular basis you are ingesting alcohol, your brain is essentially thinking that you're taking in GABA, and it says, we need less GABA. And so it downregulates. It just makes less of it. But your excitatory neurotransmitter doesn't change. And so this is literally creating this imbalance where if you don't get the alcohol in your system, your brain has an excess of the excitatory neurotransmitter, and you don't naturally already have enough GABA made because your brain's like, I don't need to make it. You're going to drink it, right? And so the effect is this feeling of anxiety and being amped up until you get that alcohol. So in addition, there's also more of a release of dopamine and serotonin that's taking place when we're drinking the alcohol. And so really this system of positive reinforcement, this whole reward system in the brain is lighting up. So when we have those first couple of drinks, all of the chemicals in our brain are like, yes, this feels good. This is what we needed. Let's do this again. And it's such a shame because this reinforcement, this good feeling, this feeling of like, I need to continue doing this, it's short-term relief. And then underneath all of it is these long-term consequences. And right now, we're just talking about the consequences for your mental health. There's a ton of other consequences on the physical body that we've gone over in other episodes. And most people know how drinking negatively impacts our heart health, our cholesterol levels, increases our risk for cancer. We age faster. It's bad for the liver, the kidneys. Like there's all these other, bad for our skin. There's so many other physical consequences that are happening when we're drinking the alcohol. We're just talking about the mental health, right? The feeling of when my brain chemistry is imbalanced from drinking alcohol, I feel anxious, right? And drawing that connection. So the next thing that happens that really kind of amps up this alcohol anxiety cycle is tolerance. And so anyone who drinks understands tolerance. And that means that after a while, it takes more alcohol to give you the same feeling. that reward system that wants to light up in your brain, it takes more alcohol to get it to light up, right? Because your body is just used to it, right? There's this tolerance to it. So initially, maybe one drink gives you this like relaxing feeling, but as you continue drinking and it becomes a regular thing, it takes more and more alcohol to really produce that same like relaxing feeling that you want. So hopefully by now you're starting to see why anxiety and alcohol really go hand in hand. And hopefully, if this is something you've thought about, like, gosh, I do drink regularly and I'm really sick and tired of having anxiety on a daily, weekly basis. And if you found this video, then you've likely put the two together and realized that, gosh, my drinking, while yes, it feels good in the moment and all of that reward center lights up and all my friends are doing it and it's totally socially accepted, and even it's kind of weird if I didn't drink. So all these reasons to do it, but something's telling me that my anxiety is getting worse when I drink alcohol on a regular basis. And it's really important to follow your intuition on this one and really just to follow the science. And if you're curious to learn more, just doing a quick Google search on anxiety and alcohol and all of this science and all of this data that I've been sharing about GABA and about the, how the imbalance starts to be created with our neurotransmitters in our brain. It will, appear on the screen for you in plain English. And, you come to a choice point in your life. And really, we all get there at some point. And the choice is, how bad does it have to get for me to make a different decision? And I love asking this question, and I've shared this before, but the question not being, do I have a problem with alcohol? Am I an alcoholic? I don't think those are helpful questions at all. I think the powerful question is, would my life be better without alcohol? Why do we have to measure how bad the cycle got? Why do we have to measure how much damage we've done to our mental health, to our physical body, to our relationships, right? To our self-esteem? Why do we have to measure how bad it has to get? Why can't we ask the question, would my life be better? And so the science tells you that your brain chemistry would be better, right? We're understanding now why our brain chemistry gets really imbalanced with regular alcohol use. We're understanding that. Now, what happens when you cut alcohol out? Well, it definitely takes some time. So over the first 30 days, we hear about withdrawals, we hear about headaches, we hear about just having that urge. An example would be people who are, and I've done this in the past, in previous years, before I completely gave up alcohol, trying to do dry January and making it a few days, and then just, your body's desire for the whole reward system to be lit up, to get that feeling of relaxation, really to get that relief from those excitatory neurotransmitters, I just want to feel relaxed, wins over, and then you realize, shoot, I didn't make it through dry January, right? It's a very common experience for people who have great intentions. They've thought about it. Maybe I should stop drinking. Maybe I should try it. But the pull of this cycle, this imbalance of neurotransmitters, the dependency that our system gets on this brain poison, these neurotoxins, right? Because the body just wants balance. The body just wants to keep you alive and keep everything balanced. So if you're going to keep putting in alcohol, your body, in all of its wisdom, is going to recalibrate your brain chemistry to keep you alive and to allow you to keep doing what you're doing. But what would it feel like if your body didn't have to do that? If you picture this, every time that you're putting alcohol in your body, you're working against your brain chemistry. You're creating a problem for your brain to clear up, for your body to clear up. How do we balance this? How do we fix this? And so when you stop that, the beginning part of that is painful. We all know that. But once you push through that, and let's say you've got 30 days where you haven't messed with your brain chemistry for 30 days, and guess what? That desire for that reward system to light up gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just not there. And you can get to the point where, for me, when I had someone try to, pour me some champagne yesterday, I get kind of repulsed. It's like, whoa, you want me to put that poison in my body? Like, are you kidding me? And that's a far cry from how I used to look at a glass of champagne. Was like, woo, this is great. Let's have a good time. And so the message here is really that you have the power to change your brain chemistry back to what it naturally wants to be. And this is a balance that's just created naturally, that's not reliant on any outside chemical to make you feel okay. And when that chemical or that alcohol is not available, you have that anxiety, or the next day when it's out of your system, you have that anxiety. When your brain chemistry is naturally balanced, you never experience that. You never have that need to put something back in your system to balance it, because your system is balancing itself. And then when you feel a little bit of anxiety, if you feel, butterflies in your stomach or a little tightening in your chest, you can tune into that and be like, okay, what is this telling me? It's not about your system being imbalanced. It's about your body telling you that you're feeling a little anxious about something in your life. And so then it becomes a tool and not something that's overwhelming and all-consuming. So I hope this has been helpful, that you have a little more understanding on why anxiety and alcohol go together. They're best friends. They have their own little cycle together. And if you're stuck in that cycle, I have several other episodes on how to stop drinking, what's going to happen when you stop drinking, everything you need around that. And there are organizations out there. There is help available to anyone who really does want to stop. And really, it's only good things ahead, and having done it and having been there and understanding that feeling of loss, like, why are you asking me to give up something that feels good, right? That short-term feel good, you feel like you're losing something. But I'm here to tell you, and there are many, many others out there who will tell you the same thing, who've written cool books about it and know way more than I do, you're really not giving up anything but the pain. And it's such an exciting transformation that is well within your grasp. And even though it goes against the social norms, and even though it goes against maybe most of your friends or people in your life, or just the way you've lived the past who knows how many decades, doesn't mean that it's not worth giving it a try to really see, how does my life get better when I stop drinking alcohol? How does my anxiety get smaller and maybe go away when I stop drinking alcohol? So I'll leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and I'll be back next week with more content. Take care.